Tanzania is in turmoil, a nation once celebrated for its calm and unity, now echoing with chants of resistance and the smoke of unrest. Long before this storm, Julius Nyerere, the founding father, had warned the ruling Chama cha Mapinduzi, CCM, that power without humility leads a nation to ruin. He cautioned them never to lose touch with the people, never to confuse leadership with ownership. Today, his words have come alive.
Sasa nasema, ni vizuri sasa wakasikiliza. Wananchi wanasemaje? Msipuuze kabisa hiyo. Na hiyo nasema na sisitiza. Msidhani mnaweza mkapata ushindi mkipuuza maoni ya wananchi. Mkasema hili ni letu tu. Ni letu tu. Mnatoka kwenye kikao cha halmashauri kuu, alafu wenyewe tu mnakwenda kwenye pale mnakwenda kwenye kikao cha wateuzi, wanateua mmoja, mkiulizwa kwa nini mnasema si letu tu. Lenu hamteui katibu wa chama. Mnateua mtu awe rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano ya Tanzania. Kwa hiyo ni vizuri msikilize wananchi wanasema nini juu ya watu wenu hao. Msipuuze maoni ya wananchi hata kidogo. Chama kitakachopuuza maoni ya wananchi kinaweza kikalia kilio, asipatikane mtu wa kusaidia kupanguza machozi. Na ninachowaambia CCM, nawaambia vile vile na vyama vingine vile vile. Lazima msikilize wananchi wanasema nini. Kwa sababu kama wote ni sawa na wananchi wanampenda mmoja katika hao kuliko wengine, basi huyo ndiye anayefaa.
When the current president Samia Suluhu once appeared to mock Kenya's political tension, few imagined that Tanzania itself would soon burn.
Kwa mfano, nilikuwa namsikiliza mkurugenzi wa kituo cha uwekezaji Tanzania anahojiwa kwenye TV, akasema mwezi Mei na Juni tumepokea wawekezaji kiasi ambacho hatujawahi kupokea, wengi mno, na thamani ya miradi iliyokuja ni hii. Lakini ukitizama sababu ni nini? Sababu ni kwamba kwa jirani kuna waka moto, na mwekezaji hakai kuna waka moto, wanakimbia wanakuja zao kwenye amani na utulivu.
In what many now call poetic justice, those same scenes of defiance and youth anger that Tanzania once laughed at in Kenya have erupted at home.
Much later.
Hapa ni Sinza Mugabe kwa mama yake. Sinza mnatuchukulia mabisho. Sinza sio mabisho kwa mama zenu. Sinza sio mabisho kwa mama zenu.
Hatutaki CCM.
Tanzanians say the government has betrayed Nyerere's legacy, that instead of listening to the people, the leadership now lectures them. Online, many accuse the president of trying to erase the principles that define Tanzania's founding: humility, dialogue, and service.
Bisheni kwa chini.
But in an exclusive interview with BBC's Focus on Africa, Tanzania's Foreign Minister Mahmoud Thabit Kombo dismissed the turmoil as acts of small groups promoting vandalism. He said the situation was under control, that democracy in Tanzania remains intact. Yet on the ground, the story looks different.
Okay, why was the internet shut down?
The internet, because internet, when we tried to open also, it created a havoc among small groups of vandalists who are creating problems in the vandalism. So they were using their main communication media was the internet.
Can you really say that this is a free and fair election when even communication itself is very difficult at this time?
we provided all the observers with alternative methods of communication in the country. So the communication with the observers is going on, and they are going also to stipulate and state that clearly in their report that they are communicating, and there were alternatives which were given for communication to flow and information exchange.
The problem with this internet shutdown is that it's hard to verify what's true and what's not true coming out of Tanzania. I mean, let me ask you this. There are reports that hundreds of people have died and have been injured over the last 3 days. Can you categorically say how many have been injured or have lost their lives over the last 3 days, Minister?
At the moment, nobody can state how many were injured, how many suffered, or how many properties were burnt. We are continuing to receive also the reports of the vandalized properties, private properties, including several regions of Tanzania. We are collecting that information. Some of the border posts, some of Tanzania Revenue Authorities, some of the police posts, some of public properties, public cars, some of TANESCO, which is our electricity supply company, cars were burnt. We are continuing to receive those reports. At the moment, nobody can accumulate all those numbers and say until all the data and figures are in place.
The UN is saying 10 people have lost their lives. Chadema says it could be up to 700.
Well, at the moment, I'm reading as you are reading, but let's wait for the right authorized information to be out.
Whenever elections are held, the call or the aim is to have them dubbed as free and fair. There are numerous allegations that the 2025 elections were neither free nor fair, and one of them is cited on the fact that major opposition candidates were excluded. How do you respond to that?
No major candidate was excluded. The candidate who excluded themselves is by not signing the code of conduct for participating in the election, and this is as per the law. I, as a minister, also had to sign that code of conduct, Maadili. It's called Formula Maadili. If you don't sign that, you cannot become a minister.
When will the internet be back on?
Hopefully, we are all looking forward for it to be back, at least by tomorrow.
Young protesters, mostly Gen Z, have been seen occupying the parliament building. The footage shows a wave of defiance never witnessed before in modern Tanzania. Their message is simple. The people are the source of power, not the party. Observers say the protests were sparked by allegations of election rigging, the opposition barred, results prearranged, and dissent criminalized. Tundu Lissu video resurfaces. Before his arrest, opposition leader Tundu Lissu told Tanzanians that the right to resist oppression is not rebellion, it is a duty. He said politics has no permanent friends or enemies, only principles that endure. Ironically, the same Tundu Lissu is now behind bars, accused of incitement. His arrest, critics say, is proof that the system fears accountability.
Nchi haikombolewi kwa maombi. Inakombolewa kwa mapambano. Mnanielewa? Watu wanaoogopa huwa wananyanyaswa. Mnanielewa? Ukiogopa mabomu, kalala nyumbani kwako, usubiri kuchunwa ngozi na CCM. Tuache visingizio. Tuache nini? Hii tutakamatwa, tutafanya nini? Ndio. Kama hutaki kukamatwa, acha kulalamika. Acha kulalamika ukinyang'anywa ardhi, acha kulalamika ukibanwa ziwani, usilalamike kabisa kwa sababu unaogopa.
Even across the border, the mood is shifting. Kenyans on social media joked that they were begging to cross the border to join Tanzanians in protest. But behind the humor lies a truth. East Africans are watching closely, because what's happening in Tanzania speaks to a wider struggle across the region, the right of citizens to choose, to speak, and to live free from fear.
Wakenya
International media, including Reuters, AP, and Le Monde Afrique, confirm that Tanzania has declared a curfew in Dar es Salaam as military forces patrol major cities to prevent further escalation. At the Namanga border, clashes have even spilled into Kenya, with police firing tear gas across the frontier. Once seen as East Africa's beacon of stability, Tanzania now stands at a crossroads between the legacy of Nyerere's listening leadership and the tightening grip of modern political control. Analysts say the government's biggest test will not be how many protesters it arrests, but whether it still hears the voice of the people beneath the noise. Because as the youth chant Nyerere's old warning, one phrase echoes through the crowd: when leaders stop listening, the people will make them hear. You're watching See Africa TV, your window to the stories shaping our continent. If you believe Africa deserves leadership that listens, like, share, and subscribe. Join the conversation. Let your voice be heard. This report is based on verified footage and publicly available information from BBC Africa, Reuters, AP News, and independent eyewitness videos. See Africa TV does not endorse violence or political incitement. Our mission is to inform, not inflame.